Okay, injury update today, partially because it's a walkthrough. Everyone will practice today. We'll see how James and Ed do in the walkthrough and then go from there into a normal practice tomorrow. Time's yours.
Hey, Sean, Tennessee, despite their record, a lot of good defensive stats.
Yeah.
What allows them to make stops?
Yeah, they got a talented roster when you look not just defensively, which the numbers speak for themselves, but offensively as well with their receiving core, running back position, and so on and so forth. So big challenge for us at home. We look forward to getting back at home. And, again, like I said after the game, we can't take that for granted. We've got to put in the work this week.
Sean, is Amari here?
Amari is here.
What have the initial interactions and conversations been like now that he's in the building?
Yeah, happy to have him here. Pleasant to be around. You know, it's been, as you'd expect, kind of process-driven with him getting here last night and then getting into some meetings with the coaches and, again, this morning. So I'm sure to some extent a little bit of a whirlwind for him, albeit he came from about 2.5, 3 hours away, which worked out well for us. So just more than anything, just trying to get his feet firmly planted in the ground and adjusting to the terminology that we use.
In your experience, what is that break-in period, or what are the challenges of the break-in period, and what expectations can anyone have of him, come Sunday?
Yeah, again, I think you have to manage them regardless of Sunday or beyond. But I like the fact that we've got it done when we did, as it relates to every year the trade deadline is X, and this year we were able to get it done weeks before, which is good. And I know that every year presents different challenges with things like that. But again, we'll see how he goes this week, and we'll see how we go. And again, it's never about one person or one player. It's about the team. And I thought we were in a good rhythm the other night on offense, and continuing with that rhythm.
So you haven't made a decision whether they're going to play Sunday or not?
No.
Okay.
Any initial impressions from talking to him? I'm sure it wasn't extensive, but from
Yeah, like I said, he's a pleasant guy to be around. I mean, I talked to him for probably 15 minutes the other night, 5 on the phone before he got here. Pleasant, pro. He's a grown man. I mean, he's been in the league 10 years now, and he's seen a lot of things, a couple different teams, and he's experienced the ebbs and flows like we all do of the NFL. And like I said, we're happy to have him.
Sean, what are the factors or the things you want to see that allow him to play this week?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's, I'll be checking in with the offensive staff and just seeing how he's picking up things. And, like anything, you want to get him worked in as quickly as we can. And but there's also moving parts that there's other players that we have to factor in as well, and who's going to play where and who gets the ball. And, so sometimes with wide receivers, there's different skill sets, and sometimes there are overlapping skill sets. And so you have to figure the pieces out, and making sure we're able to get into a rhythm, maintain our rhythm, and more than anything, Josh is comfortable with everything.
Sean, by the nature of Terrence's position, he's a cornerback, so naturally against the pass, we know he comes up against the run. How big was it, and is it Terrence's IQ of the run game and run fits that can help everything up front? It seemed like even when he wasn't making a tackle, he was spilling something to someone else on Monday night.
Yeah, he's a valuable player, and it was good to have him back in the lineup. And he's seen a lot of football, similar to Amari in the sense of what I was talking about with Amari's experience. Terrence has seen a lot of football, and so what it's like in there, what it's like to fit in the box, inside the core guard tackle box, what it's like to fit outside the tight end area. And so he's just seen a lot of football, knows how we play defensively and systematically, and works well because he has that experience with TB and Dorian.
Sean, this tight defensive line, would you consider this maybe one of the best units in the league?
Probably the biggest, for sure. I mean, they're massive up front. And very good, very good. Went against a similar defensive line last week in terms of how good they were, built a little differently than this defensive line. So this defensive line is, again, very talented. They've got the #1 defense in the league for a reason. Usually when you have that and a good defense, as you've heard me say time and time again, it starts up front.
Defensive line, you talked last night a little bit about AJ flashing last week. Across the board, edges and interior players, do you feel like you've gotten consistent play there and have met your expectations for that group as a whole?
Well, I think it's hard to say exactly, Matt, in this case, if we've been able to get that, because we've been banged up a little bit, in fairness to the guys. You know, and then Von being out, you know, with the outside piece. I would say that I see us developing. You know, we bring in Zion, and you know, he's developing. DC is developing. Are they there yet? No, but it's to be expected as rookie players. Austin comes off of the injury, and I thought played one of his better games this past week. And then getting Ed back hopefully also will allow us to continue to develop him. AJ flashing outside I think is a good sign. Getting him in the right spot, you know, and in his role, and then eventually we'll see about when Von comes back here. So, you know, all of it is just work in progress, and the guys are working hard. The coaches are doing a fantastic job, and you know, we take it one week at a time.
Dorian Williams on the field for almost every third and long in New York, all but 3, I think, as opposed to going to the dime every third and long. Does that say anything about Dorian?
Dorian's a good football player. Again, another young player, year 2, that's developing. You know, so every week we're learning. The players are learning. You know, and that's really the right approach, trying to keep our focus where it needs to be. And just us getting better every week, Dorian included, in this case as well.
Sean, Spencer Brown, I think he has 8 penalties this season, second most in the league. I know how you feel about the pre-snap ones and being non-negotiable. He had one the other night where it was a physical play. What do you do in a situation like that? Because, you know, that's kind of how he plays and probably how you want your offensive lineman to play. Yeah, how do you balance that, I guess, with him in trying to maybe limit that penalty numbers?
Yeah, I do like the physical play overall. I thought we were physical the other night, and that has to continue as a team. And then there is a balance. You never want to beat yourself, and that's what it really boils down to is you've got to make sure that you put the team first and are able to control your mindset in those situations to not hurt your team. And so that is something overall as a team, not just Spencer, but as a team that we have to get corrected because it's hard enough to win as it is, let alone when you're making it really hard on yourself with penalties.